In an ancient village deep in the Carpathian Mountains, there is a dark legend passed down from generation to generation about how vampires are born. This is not just a bedtime story for children. This is a haunting nightmare, eroding the minds of those who have heard it. And when night falls, death and horror seem to lurk around every corner, nibbling on people's fears. The story begins more than 5 centuries ago, when a prosperous village suddenly fell into darkness. A mysterious nobleman, whose name no one knows, came from far away, buying an abandoned castle located on the edge of a dense black forest. The villagers only know that he appeared at night, riding on a pitch-black horse, his cloak fluttering, his face hidden behind a silver mask with glowing red eyes, looking into the hearts of those around him. It is rumored that he is an alchemist or a black magician who holds the secrets of life and death. Since his arrival, strange things have begun to happen. The trees in the forest quickly withered. The streams that were once clear now turned red like blood. The villagers gradually disappeared mysteriously. The corpses that people found were all drained of blood, their mouths gaping with utter terror written on their faces. One night, a girl named Ilona, famous for her beautiful appearance, was kidnapped right at her wedding. It is rumored that the noble had been aiming for her for a long time because he wanted not only life but also eternal beauty. Her husband, Stefan, a strong and brave man, decided to set out to find his beloved wife. He brought with him a silver cross and the family's holy sword, believing that it was the only weapon against the devil. Stefan ventured into the Black Forest, where, according to legend, darkness was alive and ghostly whispers echoed in the air. The deeper he went, the more he felt the cold breath of death surrounding him. The ground beneath his feet was like a swamp. Each step felt like a descent into hell. Finally, after 3 nights of wandering in the forest, Stefan reached the castle, now a fortress of darkness and fear. The great gates were wide open, as if inviting, but inside was a deathly silence. Only the old portraits on the walls, their strangely vivid eyes, seemed to follow his every step. Stefan found Ilona, but it was not the woman he knew. She stood in the middle of the great room, under the moonlight shining through the broken window, but her eyes were now as black as a lifeless abyss. Her skin was pale and cold, and her lips were crimson with blood. She laughed, a shrill, unfamiliar laugh. "You're too late, Stefan," she whispered, her voice like the wind whistling through the cracks of the abandoned house. At that moment, the mysterious nobleman emerged from the shadows. He no longer hid his face, but what Stefan saw made him want to scream, but he couldn't. His face was rotten, flesh clinging to bone, and his eyes were red as hellfire. He stepped closer, his cracked lips parting, revealing sharp fangs. "Have you come to save her, or to join us?" He laughed, a cold, terrifying laugh. Stefan drew his sword, the blade glinting in the moonlight, and lunged for the attack. But in a flash, the nobleman was gone like a ghost, reappearing behind Stefan. With a light push, he threw Stefan across the room, slamming into the wall. Blood poured from Stefan's mouth, and before he could stand, the noble was close, his claws tightening around Stefan's neck. "Don't you understand?" he whispered. "Vampires are not creatures, they are spirits. We are people bound to darkness forever. Only death can free us, but death never comes." Stefan felt the noble's terrifying power, and his eyes slowly lost their light. He leaned down, his fangs sinking into Stefan's neck. Pain coursed through his body, but quickly turned to cold, a deadly cold that enveloped him. When Stefan woke, darkness had consumed his soul. He saw Ilona, but he no longer loved her. Instead, a terrible hunger arose within him. Thirst for blood, thirst for life. He had become part of the darkness, a vampire. But it was not death that freed him, but an immortality filled with pain and hatred. Ilona moved closer, her lips gently touching Stefan's ear. "Welcome to the world of darkness, where we will forever exist." Since then, darkness has never left the village. On full moon nights, Stefan and Ilona's shadows still lurk in the woods, hunting the souls of the lost. The legend of vampires never dies, and fear continues to spread, like a stain that can never be erased in human memory. If you find it interesting, please give me a like, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell to watch the mysterious horror stories in the next episodes. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next video.